Tell us about the Stack world.
So with the Stack world, what I noticed during the pandemic is that my beauty pros and their clients were coming to us as a source of truth, source of information and inspiration and community. They were joining Zooms like everybody. We did hundreds of Zooms, how to diversify your income, how to stay mentally fit, all of these different things. And I thought, this is really interesting because I am of a generation, the millennial generation, where people often say we were told we could have everything and we don't really have that much in terms of wealth ownership. With women in particular, there is this extreme jump from lifestyle and women's magazines to now financial journalism and business journalism. As in, you know, I could ask a room of 100 women, do you know what a balayage is? Lash extensions, they'll know. But if I say to them, what's the base rate, or explain inflation, it might be harder for them to articulate exactly what that is and how it affects them. And I feel like that is because, like most industries, jargon is a way of protecting information and keeping certain people out.
Yep.
You know, I think if you weren't born with that language around the kitchen table, so you don't even hear it peripherally, it can seem like a foreign language. And what I noticed in my entrepreneur journey is that there are a lot of young women who are saying to me, you make it sound much easier and less scarier than when I go to a more formal source for how to start a business or something. So with the Stack, I started to think, could we be this bridge for young women between lifestyle content that, you know, women's media is full of lifestyle content, fashion, celebrity, runway, beauty, and a more entrepreneur, business, financial content, and particularly politics, because obviously that's what everyone was really thinking about at the time. I think people listened to more news during those years, a combination of what was happening in America with COVID. People were more plugged into the news. So then I just started kind of experimenting and brainstorming with what that might look like. A women's media company that was that bridge. And then that's when I came back to the team in January and I said, okay, this is what we're working on now. Is that all right? And then we're like, okay, fine. But it also came because that is my love with some cool tech innovation. I was thinking about how media brands really want to be communities, have communities, or talk about having a community, when in reality what they have is readers or traffic.
Right.
They have traffic. So I was like, right, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go community first and then everything else second. Because when I grow the community and I prove out this community model, I can flip it and I can bring the media back to the top.
Right. And so how do you do that? How
so
did you
what
build
that looked
community?
like was normally to get someone to subscribe to your media platform, you're telling them about all the amazing content they get. They get this newsletter, they get premium content. Da, da. I was like, if you subscribe, you become part of our community. And the community is events and it's networking, and you can have a profile and people can message you and all of these kind of social networky features first. So the way that looked is we would do an interview with an incredible women leader. We would have that as an editorial piece and schedule 2 weeks later a Ask Me Anything for members only. That's what converted people to subscribe. And we also had this as a seamless one-click experience. So you're not clicking on the publication and having to go to Eventbrite or a different platform. It was all embedded into our, we had a custom CMS with the event, with videos, with profiles, everything's embedded in one
And you
journey.
were able to do this seamlessly because you had the company, that the tech company that you were working on before. So you had the technology, the know-how, the team essentially in place.
Precisely. But also as well, I had a team that trusted me because we'd gone from building booking to building a content management. We actually already had a content management system because we had this blog embedded within our booking platform. And that was always, again, part of my thesis was, can you create bookings through content? So can I write an article about a new trend in hair or nails or lashes, embed the pros in the article, and rather than send them off for affiliate links, they're on our marketplace.
Keep everything
Yeah, I'm
in-house
quite
under the
obsessed
umbrella.
with like end-to-end ownership, actually.
It sounds that way, but it's genius.
It's like,
and the wave of the future.
yeah, because I was thinking, if I'm reading my favorite newspaper, I don't want to then have to go to Eventbrite. That's
Right.
weird. And also, they know nothing about me.
Right.
So they're missing out on this important data. Whereas if anyone RSVPs, I have 24 data points on their profile. I know everything they've RSVP'd to, what they've been reading, what communities they're part of, because we have 600 communities in our app now.
600 communities in your app.
Yeah, so it's really cool because you would, I'll give you an example that we had last week. So Appleton Rum wanted to do an event with us. So we write an article, then in Club Jamaica, we embed the event. We put the event in the article. If you RSVP to the event, you're automatically placed in the communities. So the communities are growing like that. And then we recorded it in video. And then we also built a video on demand platform in the app. So you can watch hundreds of videos of past events, of lectures, workshops, etc. So yeah, it's a full stack content community platform.
I think this is genius because
Me too,
I think,
to be honest.
of course it's your baby. But going forward, I just think that no matter what your brand is, or if you have a brand, if you are a brand, a personal brand, creating content 24/7 is kind of what you're going to have to do to move your business forward and have a touch point for the quote unquote community that you're building. And to just hear you articulate the need and importance of this end-to-end strategy is fantastic. Whereas you're utilizing, Meta or TikTok for growth, or LinkedIn, but it's really important to own your community and own your network and own your subscribers so that you have those data points, so that you're able to continue to speak to them and communicate to them.
Exactly. And I think I've not been as hot on the growth elements using other social media platforms. And that's partially by design, because I was so early on Instagram and I remember the distinct algorithm shift that meant that our growth flatlined.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, wow, we're all living on rented platforms. I am now in a precarious position where my business cannot grow because my channels can't grow, and they can't grow because I'm not paying them ad money. We spend nothing on ads, nothing. The way that we grow is through word of mouth and the content that we create, and a lot of found or direct search. I'm going to now think about our growth channels as I have perfected this ecosystem, because we didn't have that ecosystem before, And the final piece for us is our video on demand platforms launching this summer in proper, because you can watch videos in the app now, but you can't really search them properly. And that's really exciting. And I want to make more elite exclusive content on this video on demand platform that enables us to truly speak to our members in a language that is part of that, as I said, like business language, but also the language and the culture that they understand, even the visuals, just to make like a cooler corporate training video on how to prepare for a performance review that isn't boring. And
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So what's really exciting is that brands have really recognized the value of our brand and style of doing things. So our community is still quite small. It's 15,000 women around the globe now. We've got
That's
women
impressive.
It's still small.
That was my question. Like,
when it's a
what
million,
you reached, like 50,000.
It's small.
Yeah, but
15,000 on my app is small, but it's good because I know them I know it sounds crazy, but I'm so intimately connected to my community. They tell me everything.
And what's the reach?
I don't know. Like the
No,
social...
you just mentioned, no, I'm talking about like, is it just UK women?
Oh, no, it's 32 countries. But in
That's
terms
what I
of
wanted to
all of
hear.
our channel reach,
Yeah.
we don't really look at that as much now because I'm still in experimentation phase. The business is just over 2 years old and it had to be thought up in 6 weeks. So it's not like I was thinking about it for 10 years
Right.
before. So the next steps for me now are how do we create IP that we can use as an example of this entire journey end to end, as I said. So it's like about having content like this, about having interviews and, you know, more high quality production on things, about having masterclasses for women that then we sell to, you know, we package up as corporate learning and training and development. And also we have an amazing, amazing summit that's our 3rd year running that I think is just...
When is the summit?
October the 6th, 2023.
Amazing.
We do it in the countryside. It's really curated and it's participatory. So we do a lot of roundtables. We think our members are just as interesting as our panelists and speakers.
Yes.
So they should have a chance to connect with each other and discuss topics on housing crisis, on, you know, intergenerational wealth. These are the things I want to talk about that they don't really have space to talk about. And then next year we're launching a quarterly B2B magazine. So all of the content we make, we do in a women's leadership magazine and sell that to businesses as well.